It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, welcome everyone to the Mayor's Report. I'm here in Pottsville at the Mayor's office, Mayor Dave Clews. My friends, we have a great show for you today. A great show for you today. You're going to learn a lot about what's going on in the area, and we have a special guest coming on, no stranger to this area. In fact, northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm looking forward to it. I know this person for over maybe 22, 23 years. And anyway, we have a lot to say today. Mayor, how are you?
Good, good. Pleasure to see you again, Sam.
It's nice to see the weather getting nicer outside. You know, it gives you that feeling to do something, and you know, I'm allergic to grass, so I can't cut my grass. So we get somebody to cut the grass. But
how long did you work on that excuse?
No, listen. we can't. Do you do house gardening?
Yeah, I take care of my house.
You mean you don't have servants around your house because you're the mayor?
No,
you dismiss them for. Yeah. I figured when you're the mayor of Pottsville, you get services.
Special treatment. Yeah.
Speaking of fixing things up, how are the roads coming along?
Roads are coming along. You know, we finally got a break in the weather. They're out paving today. They're going to be out paving all week, as a matter of fact. We're going to be kind of doing some alternating. One week we're going to be out paving, and then the next week we'll be out cutting grass and taking care of city properties. You know, besides all our parks and playgrounds, you know, the city owns 110 lots in the city of Pottsville, from, you know, blighted properties and so on. So, you know, we have to keep those clean and neat, you know, for the neighborhoods that they're in. So the guys keep pretty busy with that. We just did a really quick response. One of the streets in Pottsville, which is highly trafficked, has two or three school bus stops on it. And, you know, traffic, I actually witnessed it one day. You know, one of those people goes out and around a school bus. But we just put new crosswalks in at 3 different locations on that street, 9 new speed limit signs, and we've been having an officer sit at one of the corners in the mornings, because it's, like I said, it's a high traffic street and a lot of school bus pickups. So, you know, the guys are out painting those lines and doing those things too. The Parks Department is ahead of schedule with getting JFK Pool ready. Did a lot of cement work this year and repainted the pool. Like I said, they're ahead of schedule. We just did our hiring for the summer for our summer help for the pool and some of the other summer jobs we offer. And there are still some openings, and we're very flexible with hours there. So we've been, you know, pretty busy here with that. You know, I was doing the lighting campaign, and we had a goal of $35,000, Sam. This really, you know, really gets me emotional that we had a goal of $35,000. In a little over 2 months, we have raised over $41,000.
Wow, it's up again.
Up again.
Wow.
Still a couple of ongoing fundraisers out there. Thursday, we're sitting down. We're actually having the light people are coming here. We're going to meet in City Hall. We're going to pick some styles and get our order in. So next year, everybody will see some great new Christmas lights throughout the city.
Dave, how do you handle the blight situation? Did you get special funding from the state or to help you fix it?
We've been very lucky there, Sam, in that, you know, our local congressmen have you know, always been generous to us here in the city with funding for blight. Of course, we'd always like more, but they've been very good that way in helping us take care of that. With our code officers trying to, the biggest problem is most of them are out-of-town landlords, they, you know, they're not here, they don't see it, or they don't care, or any combination thereof. And then, you know, neighborhoods end up with poor housing conditions, you know, because of blighted property. So we get help that way. The other thing we started doing is what's called conservatorship, where the city literally takes that house, because one of the problems with a lot of blighted properties is there's a lot of liens against them, and, you know, different you know, tax situations. So if now you were an interested developer, besides having to get the property, you've got all that other baggage coming with it. Through conservatorship, we can acquire the property and get rid of those liens and things and make it much more viable for a developer to come in and, you know, upgrade a house. So we work on that constantly.
And I'm excited about getting to the pool. There's a lot of things we could do at the, you know.
One of the things, we have a great pool here in Pottsville. It draws from all over the county and beyond. And one of the things I think is probably a pretty well-kept secret is that we have an adaptive swim program. That means for people who are challenged, wheelchair-bound, we have an instructor and a certified, person who runs that program. We've adapted the pool for it. There's some other things we want to do to improve that too in the future. So to have those things right here in the city is great.
Well, as usual, you're doing a great job, really. And all the people, all the departments are doing fine. Police and fire.
Police and fire. We had a fire last night in the city, and 3 o'clock in the morning, one of our officers responded. I think this is just amazing. Got there with entrapment on the second floor, and a 11-year-old hanging out a window.
Oh my God!
And what he did was he had the quick thought process to pull some furniture out of the house and stack it so he could get up on it and save that child from the window. Incredible. Wow. There's substantial fire damage to the home, but the mother and the 3 children outside of some burns, nothing to make light of, but they'll all survive. They'll all be okay. But just great work by our police and fire department. And
it's amazing. They do it out of love. I mean, it's not they're getting money or anything like that. It's just amazing. Speaking of doing things, my friends, my next guest coming on, this guy's been involved in a lot of things. A lot to say. I've known him for many, many years, as many years as I think I know Dave. And we're talking about the doers and those people who talk and those people who do a lot of things. We're going to talk to a doer. I'll be back right after this. Well, welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. And once again, I want to thank you for making the Sam Lesante Show the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. From the scientific poll taken by Susquehanna Polling and Research Company, they were rated the #1 polling company in the country. And we're very happy to be the media partners, with the Republican Herald. And here again, when you're looking at local neighborhood news, you're looking at what's happening in your backyard. You look to the Republican Herald, and in the greater Hazleton area, you're looking at the Standard Speaker. And so we're very thrilled to be media partners with them. And remember, 24/7, you can watch all of our shows. We're here today. We do a mayor's report in Pottsville in the mayor's office, Mayor Dave Clews. And joining me, my friends, is a person I've known for many, many years. He's one of the first that came on board with us and was a major supporter of SAMHSA Productions. And this particular person, Jerry Enders, who is no stranger, I've been here for 20-some years. And Dave and Jerry, I've seen and met a lot of wonderful people in the Pottsville area, in the greater Schuylkill County. And I found that there's a lot of people that really mean well and do a lot of things. Then I also found that there are some people in government who do a lot of talking and do nothing. And those are the people that I try to avoid. Those people know they are. This guy, Jerry Enders, along with you, Dave. Jerry, I've seen you in action. The time you put in, helping so many people, and taking from your own business, which is Jerry's Northeast Auto Sales. You've been around for a long time.
Yeah, 50 years.
50 years. So the point is that, I've been there in your office. I've seen you, with the car crews. And one thing I got to admire about you, Jerry, is that every time we had the pre-cruise show or even the cruise show, the people you would have there, you always, when you introduced them to me, would say, and this is so-and-so, and he does this, Sammy, and he does that, and she does this, and she does that. You always gave just credit to everybody who was involved. And then the other thing is, when I became more involved, and I love those cruises. Remember,
Right.
in the
Oh,
cars,
yeah,
they were
great.
a lot of fun. Dave doesn't want to do that anymore because he says to do
Well, he has a hard time getting in and out of the car.
I know, that's a problem. But anyway, holy kidding. When we did those cruises, and then I said to you, well, where does this money go? Okay, and then you start telling me,
Right.
and Dave alludes to that many times, you start telling me all the things and all the benefits that people get from that cruise, okay? Wasn't that correct?
Yes, it was. The cruise has always and will the rest of my life be a passion for what we did. Dave as a co-chair with me as partners, but it wasn't about me. It's that picture of the 35 volunteers I took one year at the old Maroon Sports Bar, and I look at that picture. It's hanging in the museum. Those 35 people were the people behind me that got up, went out, handed out flyers, posters, did so much. And the day of the event, or the weekend of the event, but the day of the event, we had over 100 volunteers, and they did it for the reason you just said. The reason is no one was paid. No one got a dime. Dave gave up business, I gave up business, Janet, Connie, my staff that I paid put their time and effort into the cruise, whether it's on the phone or answering the phone or sending out flyers. And really proud to say the Pottsville cruise under our watch and running it for those years made over $1 million. Made $1 million to charity. That went to charity, and that I can justify by those cruise card tickets. There was years $60,000-$80,000 worth of cruise card tickets were sold. All that money went to charity.
Yes.
All that money went. And then at the end, our biggest year ever, Dennis Gage was here. We took in income, $50,000. We made profit of $50,000 in a 5-day event, which is unheard of.
Yes.
And not a dime to anybody. We gave trophies, awards, and that. We took that $50,000, Sam, and this is things people don't know about the Pottsville Cruise and the Pottsville Lions Club. The Pottsville Lions Club, we worked under their nonprofit and through the Lions Charities. So that's how we ran this. So all the money went back into Lions Charities, so then we could forward it to other nonprofits, like Juvenile Diabetes, St. Joe's Special Learning Center. So much went to the city, Sam. We gave $1,000 a year to Lasting Legacy, to the Yingling Park, Jolwyn Park. We gave $500 or $1,000 to the police for the child safety. All that money went back to help others. But then, because of the great amount of income we made, we said, wait, when we're not around, that's me, Dave, and the rest of us, when we're not around, we want this money to keep working. So we opened up a permanent endowment with Schuylkill Community Foundation, and the money that we have in there now is earning interest. We put tens of thousands in that no one
Wow, I didn't know that.
can ever take and spend.
Wow.
That money is in a permanent endowment for charities, and we set up another fund for scholarships. So that money will forever work. The money earned in the cruise over 25 years will always be working for the community. And the money, I think we have around $60,000 in the permanent endowment, that the interest now from that, Sam, is what we get in Lions Charities, that we can continue the free Christmas movie. The Pottsville Halloween Parade is paid for out of there. We do scholarships. We just did football, basketball, and soccer awards through the Lions Club. And that money all comes out of charities to buy the award plaques and pay for dinner and stuff. So in the past, the Pottsville Cruise Lions Club event has raised a lot of money. And as you said, there was nobody getting paid. There's too many things going on today that I see within the city that people doing stuff feel they need to be reimbursed. We did community service, didn't we, Dave?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And today people do things and need to be reimbursed. We never looked for that.
Yeah.
We looked for the good of the cause, and the cause was to put money back into all the nonprofits.
And I saw, I wasn't here all the time, I mean every day, but I saw what Dave Clews did, okay, and taking the time, and you being the chairman, and your desk is stacked up. You know, you're trying to sell your cars and make a living and support your family, and even now, you know, you're involved in all this stuff. But you see, there are people, I say, I've done over 6,000 shows, Jerry.
Right.
And I have a lot to learn yet. But I've encountered so many phonies in my life, okay, they're jealous, they're envious,
Right.
they don't do anything, they were born with silver spoons in their mouth, and they're always there to criticize, etc. And I look at guys like you and Dave Clews and your crew and say, here are people, yes, you know, but however, you're doers, you know. And just like you said about that person who saved that kid's life, you know, Dave, there's so many great people out there. So I try to concentrate on the people who are positive and do what's doing, okay, and try to avoid the negatives. In what you've also had here for a while is doing very well, and that's your Jerry's Classic and Collectibles Museum. I'm going to take a break, come back. My friends, if you haven't been here, you got to go there, and we'll talk a little bit more. You know, you all know who those people are, the phonies in your life. I spoke at Rotary, was very happy to speak to the Pottsville Rotary, and we discussed how when I was developing these shows that you want to stay away from negative people as much as you can because they bring you down, and then you got to watch those people who come to you in sheep's clothing who are not really there to help you. You know who they are. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. The Mayor's Report, learning a lot what's going on in northeastern Pennsylvania as well as Pottsville. I'm here in Mayor Clews' office, and joining me is a good friend of mine for many, many years, a doer, Jerry Enders. Jerry, now you have a few things we got to talk about, and you know we have a lot of footage. In fact, we did it all around the town at your Jerry's Classic Cars and Collectibles Museum. Tell me all about it.
Well, you know, we're open for the 27th season. We celebrated 25 years over a year ago. Amazing. Something that started out as buying that building, the old Studebaker dealership on South Center Street. Center Street was in deplorable condition. Many of the neighborhood thought that building and the Atkins Mansion should all be tore down. That's how bad it was. And, you know, and we ended up seeing that building for sale through the bank. And like Mayor Clews says, redevelopment and putting money back into the community. Well, there was no redevelopment authority money. There was no grants. Janet and I did this on our own. And the same thing with the Atkins Mansion. Our friend there at the Atkins Mansion, you know, he bought that. He invested a couple $1 million. But anyway, with that said, Sam, we bought the building to store my classic cars. Never, and I do this on my bus tours, we never bought the building, and I said to myself, I'm going to build a museum. Sam, the museum just happened. I started putting my cars in, we started painting, we took 50 tons of garbage out, and just like the young guys are doing next door to open you know, the chopping block. You take an old building, you revitalize it, and now South Center Street was talked about 25 years ago as being the southern gateway to Pottsville. Well, Sam, with the Atkins Mansion, my place, the chopping block, Union Station, AAA, South Center Street is the southern gateway with pride. Yeah. And the buildings look great, right, Mayor? Everything's cleaned up down there. So now we're celebrating 27 years, and you talk about doing something and people recognize it. I had a phone call a month and a half ago, Sam, and this goes with the museum. The museum is over 100 years old, the building. Part of the museum dates to 1865. The back part of the building, Sam, was the original Atkins Mansion livery stable for their horses and buggies. So the mansion next door was built in 1865 by Charles Atkins, one of the 10 wealthiest men in America back in that age.
Along with Dave Clews.
Along with Dave. Well, I was going to say along with you, Sam. But yeah. And so we bought the building, started fixing up. All new windows, you know, cleaned it up. 50 ton of garbage, a lot of help. A lot of my friends, the Woomer family, the young guys helped me carry stuff, all the people that donated. And I'd like to give a shout out right now, Sam, to all those people that have donated to build the museum. We went out, we bought things, I purchased stuff, I collected stuff. But then next thing, people are coming to the car lot down on the highway and say, hey, would you like this for your museum?
Yeah.
Great story, and run through it quickly. I seen an ad. They were having a church was having a flea market. And so I talked to these ladies. I said, what do you have? And they said, well, we got old hats. And I said, well, I'll buy a box of those old hats, $20. This is a great story. So these old hats from the 20s and 30s. Lady says, really, $20? I said, yeah, I'll give you 20. Well, thank you, Mr. Enders. Well, the next day, another lady from the church shows up, and she had a box of hats, and the next day, another lady. So
your wife has a lot of hats to wear.
No, they're all in the museum. So we started a millinery, a barber shop. There's a drive-in theater. There's a parts store. There's a beer store in there. But what's unique is not just the 15 classic cars. It has actually became a place of 20,000 pieces of memorabilia and history dating over 100 years. And if I can, Sam, 2 months ago, I had a phone call from Automobilia magazine. And this gentleman that does judging at the Concours d'Elegance around the country, and Amelia Island, Pebble Beach, this gentleman here, this will be in Automobilia magazine, a 3-page story on the museum that they're writing to showcase the museum through something I never even called and asked. They seen the value in our museum and the uniqueness. And this magazine will be distributed at the Indy 500 at the end of this month.
Wow, that's a tremendous
It's a national
honor.
publication.
Dave, that's a tremendous honor for the...
And it's an honor for the city. This is what brings more tourism in. And we're talking about tourism. And
you're involved with the tourism, right?
Right. I'm once again and proud to be president of the Schuylkill County Visitors Bureau, Explorer Schuylkill. And I've been on that board for well over 20 years. And I'm proud of that organization. I'm proud of what they do. And we've gotten to the point financially, this year we gave about $40,000 in mini grants to other tourism industries and other businesses throughout the county, not just the city. So it's a great organization, and I'm proud that I was elected once again as president of the organization.
You have a fabulous person running it, Regina.
Our staff.
She does a great job.
Regina is fabulous, is wonderful. Does a great job, very in tune of everything going on in the county. Plus Vanessa and Carrie, our staff is best to know. I mean, they were great.
Dave, you've been through the museum, okay? I've been through the museum, and and you have to spend. This is not a 15-minute thing or half an hour thing, okay? I mean, when you're looking at all the different. I mean, I said, as much as I've known the guy, I've never been really through the place, right? When you go through that place, am I correct in saying that?
Oh, there's like Jerry said, beyond the cars, there's so much other history, from around the area, and mostly focused on Pottsville. But there's a whole lot of things to see in there that people just don't expect.
Did it bring back some memories, though? When you,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Between his vinyl collection of records in there, the Maroons memorabilia, the seedy old, the old soda pop area. It's.
We're very fortunate to have places like Jerry has to bring these nice memories back, etc. I've been through it a number of times. We did in fact, you could Google it, the all around the town we did with Jerry's. Jerry, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Sam, it's been delightful. I'm glad to be back with you again, and
I have a very important announcement to make.
Well,
my friends, I have I hate to interrupt you, but Jerry has agreed. He has agreed to be the chairman of the haircutting of Mayor Clews. He's taken over chairmanship, right?
I really, Sam, I can't really do that because that's where he gets his amazing powers from. and if we cut his hair, he might
David,
not
you
be,
got a friend here.
It wouldn't be the Sam Joe without there goes Dave's ponytail again.
Yeah, but hey, Sam, I know you're probably cutting time here, But listen, you're around town, pick up this amazing flyer. It's put together. I chaired this thing too, Sam. Pottsville Commission on Tourism has a fantastic map, all the things to see and do in Pottsville.
Guess what? This is so important. In fact, that's what I was asking Regina about a couple of months ago.
Right.
This is fabulous.
Well, I have been on that committee for over 25 years, since the museum.
Wow.
And over the years, I've taken over as chairman. I've taken it a passion for it that I make sure every 2 years we print a new one, we update it. We have some of the new businesses on here that have just opened.
Could they look at this online anywhere?
They can get this online. You can contact Explorer Schuylkill. They have it. But Sam, this is in Yingling and all the stores and Dave's and all the restaurants in town. It's just a phenomenal piece. And Sam, the big thing is that costs the city or taxpayer nothing.
Zip.
That money is raised.
Jerry, I got to go.
Sam,
I'd love to be able to spend a lot more time.
It's been nice, Sam.
And I am a little disappointed you didn't take the chairmanship of the haircutting contest.
No, I
But
won't.
I promise you, my friends, we'll get someone to raise an extra $50,000 when we cut his hair. Thanks for joining us. This was a great show for me because I know these two people. They are doers, and that's the most important thing. We'll see you next time.